I built an absolutely insane physique without having to give up on the sport that I loved my entire life. And around 2 years ago, I joined the first tier of the league in my country whilst on my bodybuilding journey. I can teach you how I was able to maintain a high level of sport and not give up my bodybuilding journey. That's the truth I want to give you here, because so many conspiracy theories about, bodybuilding makes you unathletic. You can't do both. I'm going to teach you that you can. You don't have to give up on the sport that you love. You don't have to give up on your bodybuilding journey. You don't have to pick and choose. You can do both. I was able to do it, play at top flight of my country whilst bodybuilding. I'm going to show you how you can do it too, because I love football so much and I love bodybuilding so much, and both of them make me super fulfilled. So if I love that feeling, of course I'm going to pass it on to you boys. When designing a training routine that combines both your sport and bodybuilding, you need to understand one thing. What is your priority? Now, for most of you boys, I can guess that, and it is just bodybuilding. Ooh, because you are watching a video like this on bodybuilding, and I have a feeling that if you wanted to prioritize your sport, you wouldn't even be considering another option like bodybuilding or another sport. You'd be just so dialed in and locked in on that sport because it's so extremely difficult to become a professional in that. So I'm assuming your priority right now is bodybuilding, and it's important that you understand that and it's clear to you that that is the case. Because now, with this, we're going to say that you're going to train bodybuilding as many times per week as you can. You've admitted to yourself now that bodybuilding is a priority. That means it comes out above the sport that you train. Doesn't matter about the teammates, doesn't matter about the coach that you really like. Bodybuilding comes above the sport that you train. So you will train this more than you train your sport. You've just admitted it. You just admitted that it's your priority and you really, really care about it. So make it look like it. So you will train bodybuilding as many times as a week you can without it interrupting your already routinely sport schedule that you already have for your sport. And the only reason that I'm telling you that you cannot train and replace your sport is because there's people relying on you in your sport. When I played for the first tier in my country, I had coaches relying on me, staff relying on me, teammates relying on me. I had fixtures already made up. It's already done, so you cannot work around it. But that's the beauty of the bodybuilding sport. It's all based on your own actions and your own free will and time. So you can schedule a session in at this time for you, whereas for football it's it's only specifically at 8 p.m. Whereas bodybuilding could be 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. or 8 a.m. You can have so many different options. So if bodybuilding is the priority for you, train it as many times per week as you possibly can without it interrupting the performance of your football or sport, whatever sport you decide to play. Now, on the flip side, I know some of you may be not as talented at the sport, but sport is still the priority for you, right? And what I suggest that is still train every day. You should still train every single day. It's just you should incorporate more plyometric, more you understand what I mean, fast switch muscle fiber training that will benefit your performance rather than benefiting your physique. That is the only difference. So I'll give you a practical example. So for me, I train football on Sunday we had a game, and then we had a train on Thursday and Tuesday as well. So I had Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday free, and I would train bodybuilding on every single one of these days because bodybuilding was my priority. 4 days a week, sound. There's actually an argument that 4 days a week is actually very, very optimal for bodybuilding training. In my course down below, we do anything from 1 to 6 days a week and anything that can build your muscle, so go have a look at that. But 4 days a week is how much I train. And if you were playing a sport and you wanted sport to be your priority, but you still wanted to do bodybuilding, maybe you do 2 sessions bodybuilding, 2 sessions plyometrics on top of the already training that you're doing it in your sport with your team or with your coach, for example. So you need to understand that what your priority is so you can then start to build your weekly schedule that you're going to do. So you're going to train every single day. That's the key to understand your priority, because then you know how many sessions you're going to have a week and of each sport as well. Now the second thing I want to teach is the timing and the efficiency of your routine. You need to have a very, very good structure, and the timing of your sessions is extremely important to be able to deliver that. I don't want you training 2 things on the same day, because it's just going to ruin your performance in your sport or ruin your performance in your bodybuilding. It is that simple. Bodybuilding and doing a sport is very, very, very fatiguing. I don't think you understand that. It takes people that actually have trained it for years and years at a decent level to understand that. Bro, when I got back off football at like 8 p.m. or when I get back from the gym at like 2 p.m. I don't want to fucking speak for like 3 hours, bro. I'm sat there eating my meal in silence with like telly on, like zoned out. I don't want like someone coming and being like, oh, you want to do this, and asking me a really intellectual question, but my brain will not work because I am literally knackered. I need to like reboot. I've just got no social battery, no charger, nothing. And that's because it is so fatiguing. So fatiguing. So you need to stop training on the same day. Don't do a bodybuilding session in the morning and don't do training at night. No, your performance is going to drastically worsen and it's going to benefit absolutely no one. This is why it's so important to develop your schedule and routine in such an efficient way. The structure is important. So once you've found your priority, then structure it in a way where they do not clash. So you know how I said for me, that I'd have a game on a Sunday and then I'd train on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And that means that I do bodybuilding Monday, bodybuilding Wednesday, bodybuilding Friday, then I'd either have a rest or do a plyometric session on a Saturday, depending on how rested and recovered I am. And I would always do the leg day on the Friday, because then I have a day on Saturday to recover from a game, rather than doing the leg day on the Monday or the Wednesday and then going into training straight after. I have that day of extra recovery for my legs. So you see how I've meticulously designed a routine that's effective and allows me to recover as best as possible, so it doesn't worsen my performance in either my sport or my bodybuilding. You know, so it's super important that your sessions do not clash, do not overlap. You're not training 2 times in one day, like for each sport. It's important that you are very meticulous with how you design it, because fatigue will decrease your performance, and both of these things, as you will know if you train it very, very seriously, and you train till failure on your bodybuilding, listen to all the advice I give, and you train really hard in your sport, and you're trying to impress your teammates and your coach so you can get into the first team, whatever it is, it's extremely fatiguing. So making sure that you have a correct structure where they don't clash is vitally important. And the last thing that I'm going to give you is it's extremely fulfilling. When you hear me say you should train every day, and you know, if you want to combine your sport and your bodybuilding, it's going to be really difficult. You've got to train hard, it's going to be fatiguing. You probably slumped in your chair, right? You probably slumped in your chair and be like, oh fuck, it's going to be so difficult. And you know, sometimes you just get ready for football and you literally dread it every single time. You're getting your kit on, you're stood in your kit waiting to get picked up, and like nerves are going up and down your body, feeling, oh, I don't want to go. And every single game you have, because there's so much pressure to perform, you don't want to go, you want to shy away from it, Every single bodybuilding session, you're already aching. You said you'd go 2 hours later, 2 hours before, and now it's 2 hours later, and you still haven't gone, and you're still aching, and you're just waiting for this ache to go, and you don't want to go. That is the reality of it. But it's extremely fulfilling. You had nothing else interested in your life. You had no, you know, school's boring, it's shit. You don't want to make that the focus of your life. You have no business desire yet. For me, I didn't have any business desire at all at this point. And the only way I got direction in my life and like something to be proud of, something to be productive with, was my training. So I would train every single day and just get as good at that as possible. 1, I'd look sick. 2, a lot of people would respect me because of how hard I'm working. And 3, I'd actually respect myself and have a direction and be like, yeah, I'm fucking proud of myself, because I've had all these thoughts of, oh, I don't want to go, the pressure's building up, I want to shy away, and I've done it anyway, and I've been extremely consistent on my training, and I feel fucking sick, bro. I feel sick. And you know what the funny thing is? You know when you feel all these thoughts of, oh, I don't want to go, the pressure's building up, yada, yada, yada. You slump in your chair, you're like, fuck this, bro. You're dreading every single session, you're dreading every single bodybuilding workout. You go there, you run through the pain, someone's already on the way to pick you up, you've got to firm it. You fucking love it, bro. You've got a massive smile on your face, people are laughing, their jokes are flying. You have a good session. It's weird. Every time I felt anxious about a football game, every time I felt like I didn't want to go to a bodybuilding session, if I just went, or if someone would have picked me up anyway, we're already on the way, it was already set in stone, I fucking enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed every single bit of it. It's always been for me is I've dreaded it and dreaded it and dreaded it all the way leading up to it. I'd be in school thinking about it, like, oh, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to have this session. I don't want to do workout later. I would, you know, get ready at home. I'd have my kit on, or I'd have my workout like clothes on, and I'd be like, oh, fuck this, bro. I really don't want to go. And I'd always get picked up for football. So this is the point where a couple of lads from like older than me could drive and I couldn't, but they would just pick me up because they lived nearby and stuff like that. So I actually got a way to get there because my dad worked nights and stuff like that. So I always got picked up. So I was on the way, like waiting to get picked up. And I was just like, fuck this, bro. I just can't be arsed. I'd be super nervous for no reason. Then I'd get there and absolutely love it. That's the weird thing. So ignore all these feelings. If you feel these feelings of dread, anxiousness, whatever, and then you enjoy it, I think it's worth it. And I think it's so worth it to be fulfilled at the end of the day. There's nothing else that you know of in your teenage life than literally just how good you are at a sport or athletics or a bodybuilding, for example. And doing that every single day, training super routinely, super consistently, will actually give you happiness in your life rather than the fake happiness from a video game or from junk food or from doing well in school about tests that don't really do anything or you don't really care about. This is where you can achieve your happiness, and that's so fucking valuable, bro. Fuck, man. I love fitness, bro. I absolutely love it. Yeah, buddy. So they're the three things of how I was able to balance not only first tier division football in my country and bodybuilding in my teenage years. And it made me one of the most happy versions of myself that I've ever been. So hopefully you can take this advice on board about having a priority and timing your sessions correctly. And I guarantee you'll have such a good fucking few years if you just did this, bro. Guarantee you. Again, just want to plug it. Quick subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. YouTube analytics prefer it when you do that sort of stuff, and it tells me that I've got to remind you. So here you are, I thought I'll remind you, bro, subscribe. And also, top link in the description is my course where we teach you how to have a better physique, top 1% physique in your age category. We can build a dream physique that you've always wanted whilst even doing your sport, just like I did. I meticulously designed this program so it would learn from all the mistakes that I made, and you can make progress even faster than me. It's very, very cheap at the minute, so if you want to have a look, and then as I'm continuing to improve and improve the course, the price may go up. As more members come in, the price may go up just because there's more value in the community when there's more people in there. You know, you can meet people, you can schedule meetups with people on the same wavelength as you. You know, when you talk about fitness and people are just like, oh, whatever. But people in here actually care and get as excited as me and you about this sort of stuff. So it's extremely valuable. And then I've also got my TikTok and my Instagram in the description. All DMs on there are open if you want to message me for personal advice about how to improve your fitness journey, or if you think you've got a question about this specific topic that I've missed out. I will always answer. I'm always here to help. I love helping you boys. I just want to see you progress even further on your journey. So without further ado, bro, have a good session, and I'll see you later.